My name is Arin Lindauer, and you're listening to A Life Without Struggle. I'm a wife, a mother of 2 wonderful children, a 2-time best-selling author, and a highly driven and successful entrepreneur. In my 17-plus year career as a mindset and health expert, I know what holds women back from a life you only dream about. Whether you're a CEO, a businesswoman, or executive, I started this podcast because I have been where you are, and I know you want and deserve more out of your life. I believe women are limitless. We just get lost along the way. The process to get you there is the topic and purpose of this podcast. When you understand what you want, you can truly step into a life without struggle. Welcome, and I'm so thankful you're here. Welcome back to another episode of Life Without Struggle. My name is Arin Lindauer, and today we're going to dig into being unstoppable. I want you to be unstoppable at anything that you desire and want in life. So today we're going to dig right into this, and the reason why I'm even bringing this, if you're listening to these in chronological order, it is January. It is absolutely, minus the weather where I currently live today, it is absolutely my favorite time of the year. It's when there's all this newness, there's all this excitement, everyone's setting goals for the most part, and everyone is just like, I got this. And here's the deal, this is the first week of January, so cool, everything is exciting. But I want you to make 2024 totally different. So again, if you're listening to this in the time and space in which it lands, this is 2024, and I want this to be the best year yet. I want you to be the most unstoppable force of nature that anyone has ever seen. And I'm going to tell you why this is so important and why we want to dig in and truly be unstoppable. So here's the thing that I see so many times is we can talk a big game. Hell, even myself, I can talk a big game. Typically speaking, I can back it up, but there's definitely been times in my life when I didn't back it up. And it's so frustrating. And it's very, very frustrating to look back and look at it. So I want you to think about what it is that you want to be unstoppable in. You want to be unstoppable in your strength training, in your health and wellness goals, in your relationships? Do you want that career to just take enormous leaps, that business to go in a completely different trajectory? Be unstoppable. We have to know what it is that we want in order to create the strategy and the plan. So here's the biggest problem that I see with someone just truly even getting to where they want to get, let alone being unstoppable. So here's one of the biggest problems that I kind of just hit my head against the wall when I see this happening is we never commit long enough to see the end result. So what do I mean by that? Is we kind of dip a toe in, we see some results on the scale, kind of hold up because life went sideways, we got stressed out, holidays came and went, and we put on the weight, right? And then we kind of sort of get our act together, and then we're kind of sort of back in the same position. And so that's what I want to speak into is this one toe in, one toe out, truly never committing to, hey, this is how I need to show up on a daily basis. See, this can be one of the most slippery slopes because we think good enough is good enough. I'm better than I was maybe a year ago. Okay, well, cool. But I'm going to challenge you to find that next edge. What is the next thing that you actually desire, that you want for your life? And so you may be saying okay, Arin, cool, but why do I need to keep pushing for more? Why do I need to keep going after things? And here's what I'm going to tell you from experience. I can share this very vividly is don't get stagnant. Don't get content. Don't grow your business to a certain spot and say, cool, because that will be the second your business starts to slide back. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but keep pushing forward. Set new goals. If you hit your goals, great, set new goals. Okay. Same with your body. If you hit your desired weight loss goal. Now, here's the thing. I'm going to tell you, most never hit the actual number that they set out to hit. Okay. Or they get themselves within like 10, 15 pounds of it. And they're like, this is okay. This is better than what I was. And so here's what I'm going to tell you is don't sandbag on yourself, on your goals, on what you want for your life. And why not? Why not find that next edge for you personally? So what we want to think about is, okay, what is it that I desire? What is the goal that I am getting after? And you want to really name it and put it in front of you. Then the most important piece that we can do is truly reverse engineer, okay, what is it going to take? If you feel like you're hitting your head against the wall, this is where I'm going to tell you it's wildly important to find someone who has walked this path before, who has coached countless people through this process. Speak very candidly on, hey, this is what the journey looked like. Here's what I would do now. And so having the right strategy in place truly is everything, because I will say that you can just kind of beat your head against the wall doing very wrong. Like I watch this all the time in fitness and weight loss and just people doing all these extremes, doing all these cleanses, doing just these, I don't know, there's just so many things that people do when in reality, got to move our body. We've got to reasonably reduce our caloric intake. Now I'm speaking in weight loss, but then we also have to understand, okay, if I desire weight loss, am I doing enough? Am I doing all the things? Sometimes the answer is absolutely yes, and you just need to see it through enough time. Also, the body has to kind of stabilize, then go back into a weight loss. And so sometimes we need to refeed. Sometimes we need to restrict more, pull it down. But I'm going to tell you that there's always a cycle to it. Okay. And sometimes we need to just solely focus, because here's what happens is like, okay, we could say that we are in an absolute fat loss mode. But if you keep going to Friday night, Saturday night, and it's a daggum free-for-all, and you put weight back on every freaking weekend, you're never going to get past this hump. You're just going to keep going, why am I not losing weight? Why am I not losing weight? When in reality, it's those just 1 or 2 days that are absolutely wreaking havoc, and it does matter. The closer you get to your goal, everything matters, okay? So when someone first comes to me and they've got like a 30-pound, 40-pound goal, at the beginning, you're probably noticing I'm pretty loose on you, like, hey, this looks good. And you're like, wow, I thought she was going to say something different. In the beginning, you're good. You've got wiggle room. We'll be fine. As we are getting closer to those last 10, 15 pounds, everything matters. So it's in your best interest to just day one, be on point as much as possible. Not perfect, but just reasonably speaking, things are pretty darn good. So the thing that I want you to become in this journey is just an unstoppable force where everything in your life just gets better. Everything that you focus on, you give it 110%. A saying that I was reminded about today was, how you do one thing is how you do everything. Now, this saying came to me when I think I was in my internship in college. And it's so funny because I never had cleaned a baseboard before. Now, hopefully you are laughing, but I didn't realize that you cleaned baseboards. I just thought they magically sparkled, right? And I had no idea that that was something that you actually had to dust, that you had to wipe down. And until I got the privilege of cleaning the bathroom at the sports performance facility that I was interning at, I had no idea. And I remember that I was told how I do one thing, i.e. clean the bathrooms, is how I do everything. So you better do a freaking good job. And I will be genuine, it's a really valuable lesson. And it's an important thing for all of us to really take note in. Have you ever been cleaning your own house and you're just kind of like, I'll just go around the trash can? And all of a sudden in my head, now you guys are all like visualizing me, I'm like, I could just go around the vacuum and nobody would know. And then I'm like, how you do one thing is how you do everything. So of course I pause, pick up the trash can, get underneath it and set it back down. And I'm reminded that, hey, that really wasn't that big of a deal. But I think we need to be reminded that in our own life, that how we do one thing is how we do everything. Some people always ask me like, are you always like this? Yes, pretty much. There is a very, very rare occasion that you are not going to find me on all cylinders, firing, motivating, and being truly who I am, because how you do one thing is how you do everything. When it comes to like even just cooking meals and things like that, like I remember my brother saying to me like, dang, where did you learn to cook like this? And I was like, I don't know. I started looking at a lot of recipes and I don't know. I just really enjoy when something tastes good. Like, what does it entail? What does it take? So again, how you do one thing is how you do everything. This is how you become unstoppable, because you have a non-negotiable value in your life. This value is how you do everything. I can tell you when I know a woman has this characteristic, because typically speaking, she gets in the program, it's just like a roll. And now, listen, this isn't to slam or bash anyone that maybe doesn't initially have that characteristic, but that characteristic can be taught. It can be learned, and you can learn it really, really quickly. You can basically, when you're ready to turn it on, you turn it on. Have you ever just seen like a kid all of a sudden who was like struggling and then now all of a sudden they're excelling? Like, what happened? Typically speaking, and I will tell you this just from experience, is built their confidence. They put in another rep and another rep and another rep. See, I was watching our son kind of struggle to read and do those things. And then as the more we practice, the more we put the time in, it was like, hey, this is actually pretty easy. And I'm forming these words. And this is actually not so challenging anymore. And I'm like, see, you just got to put the reps in. That's typically what we need to do in life. If we want to be an unstoppable force, we have to show up and do the things even on the days that we don't feel like that. I know that is especially true in weight loss, and it's especially true in anything around business and career type of goals, is you have to show up doing the things. Like, just the second you think water doesn't matter, like, listen, how do you think we get rid of fat? That is part of the process, is you will pee it out. So it is in your best interest to drink more water. And yes, I am talking 100% high quality H2O. That is it. Okay. Like, I was even laughing because I bought a couple gallon jugs because I was like, I know I'm drinking plenty, but I just want to kind of see. And I liked the visual. And it's so funny. I had almost a whole gallon gone by like 3 o'clock yesterday. And I was like, oh, dang. So this is pretty much my normal day, is getting over a gallon. And I didn't even realize it because, again, this has just been how I show up, how I feel good. And what's interesting is the amount of thirst that I will feel throughout the day. Like, it's just like a clockwork, constantly taking it in. So I want you to understand, am I committing long enough to see the end result? Or am I just saying good enough is good enough? Don't be good enough, okay? If there's one thing you take from this podcast here today, is don't be good enough. Good enough is not okay. Don't kind of sort of lose weight. Lose weight and truly see what your body can do, can look like, and how it can serve you. I say this time and time again, and I know it's challenging to hear this, but your body is your billboard. When you walk into a room, people are going to judge you, whether it's right or wrong, based on how you look. And it's probably one of the most frustrating things, but at the end of the day, it's human nature. Like, we cannot get away from that, okay? And so why not walk into the room and own it? Just walk in a room and own it. That comes from you feeling good in your own skin, having the excess weight off your body, getting really good sleep, hydrating yourself, and you're just feeling good on a daily basis. That is possible. And this is what happens is so many people don't think that this is possible. They don't think that they can feel better than what they feel today. If you've ever gone a certain duration of time without any alcohol in your body, and let's just say you're an occasional drinker or weekend drinker or whatever, if you go for a good 30, 45, 60 days without alcohol, it is wild how good you feel. The same with keeping sweets out of your body. If you can go a certain amount of time, and for some of you listening to this, you're like, oh, I don't even drink, it's not a big deal. For some of you, you may say, okay, I do drink, but okay, I would never I'm not going to eat sweets. That's just not my thing. Everybody has their thing that isn't serving them. So I'm curious what's showing up in your life that we just need to yank out for a set amount of time and truly see how you can feel on a daily basis, because that's what it's going to take to be unstoppable. Here's the thing about all of this is your physical dominance can make you great. So physically being in really good shape, it can absolutely make you great. Your mental dominance is what ultimately makes you unstoppable. So what do I mean by this? Is you got to be mentally strong enough to endure whatever comes at us. So, okay, how do you do this? And you guys are going to think this is kind of goofy, but how you do this is you show yourself every single day that when you put a list in front of you of these 3 to 5 things that you're going to do, that you actually do them and you execute them and you do it well. See, I make a list every single day of the 5 things that I need to get done. Like at the end of the day, these 5 things get done, and I'm going to consider that day an absolute win. Now, what happens when you don't hit those? Well, look at it and you go, shit, what can I do differently, right? And that's really important to me. And that I know is absolutely what's holding me back, is I need to stack more W's than losses. And I need to not have this mindset of screw it, I'll do it tomorrow, right? Like how many times do we say, screw it, I'll do it tomorrow? And so I've just kind of taken 2024 and said, you know what? There's no more screw it, I'll do it tomorrow. Like, you got to do it today. Otherwise, you're not going to bed until you do it today. Like, we're not going to win if we don't check the boxes. Okay. So consider that for yourself. So you want to do the work every day. You have to do something you don't want to do every day. Challenge yourself to be uncomfortable and push past the apathy or the laziness or the fear. This is something that plagues so many people, and it's so frustrating to watch. And I'm sure it's been frustrating for coaches who have coached me to watch it. And so the better you can become aware of like, hey, what is actually holding me back? And truly what's holding most of us back is just the consistency to do the things day after day after day. And how you do one thing is how you do everything. You got to show up with a certain level of intensity. And like, here's the thing. If your coworkers are like, dude, what is your problem? If your spouse is like, whoa, what's going on? It's a good thing. You need to raise the standards of your own household. You need to raise the standards of your department or your team. They need to understand that like, hey, we don't just do the bare minimum, because that's how none of us ever get anywhere in life. Okay. So the bottom line is, if you want success of any kind, you have to be comfortable being uncomfortable. If we don't do things every single day that stretch us, then we're just sitting in contentment, like complacency. And so I parallel this with working out. Like for me, it is a non-negotiable that 3 days a week, I am going to strength train. During that strength train, And listen, every week isn't like balls to the wall, getting after it. I definitely have my moments where I don't feel as good as others, but reasonably speaking, those workouts like leave it all on the table. And it doesn't mean that I'm like over here killing myself, doing burpees and all this other crazy crap that I would never do personally, and I would never recommend any of my clients do. But what it is every day I'm trying to get myself to that next edge. Okay, if I've been, benching this amount of weight, can I do 2.5 more pounds? Can I do, 5 more pounds, 10 more pounds on like a deadlift or a back squat? And so appropriately, you're increasing the weight. Now you cannot just, well, Arin said, be balls to the wall. I'm not saying that, but what I'm getting at is, are we pushing ourselves appropriately every single day? Are we getting uncomfortable? See, so many times I watch women, especially men too. So this is definitely a man thing as well. And actually, it kind of bothers me more when a man does this. But so many times, that's probably a whole gender thing that I probably shouldn't get into, but I digress. But like so many times I know that a woman doesn't lift heavier weight because she's scared. Okay, she's scared that she's going to fail. She's scared that she can't do it. She's scared to look, dumb. And what's interesting then is they'll do just enough weight that it's kind of sort of challenging. But if we're being honest, they could probably do 15 reps when they only were to do 10 reps, for example. So this is something that I want to challenge you, that you want, if we're doing 10 repetitions, I want you to get to about 8 and things are getting questionable. Can I do it? And then you get 9 and then you get 10, but it's kind of getting a little wonky. Now, again, good form, be focused, be mindful, but I want you to see what edge you can get yourself to. See, most of us are way stronger than we'll ever. And see, this is why I even brought up guys, because I see guys do this and I'm just like, holy moly, man, you can do this. But you know what this really is? And this is where, as a coach, like I definitely have the empathy here, is just don't believe that you can do it yet. And that's okay. Sometimes it takes having a coach to truly build you up, spot you, make sure that you're doing it appropriately. And then we can truly see like what it is that we can actually do. So I say all that just to say, hey, it's important for you to understand like what's appropriate, especially if you're lifting by yourself. Like I personally know that I'm not going to max out on a bench press if I don't have a spotter. Okay, so be smart about this. Don't, well, Arin said to be unstoppable, I gotta go balls to the wall over here. But I want you to push yourself appropriately. I want you to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. There's so many situations that I can tell you that I've put myself in room after room after room of people who made way more money to me. And I don't know why that, of all things, makes me more intimidated. I don't know what it is. They're normal people just like me. They got normal problems just like me. But we've constantly put ourselves around people who do way more than us. And it stretches us and grows us to like, okay, what else can we do in our life? So I want you to be committed to doing the things long enough to get the end result. Those things are typically the most small, insignificant things that you can, okay? And they add up and they do matter. Never be satisfied. It's never good enough, okay? And I mean that in a good way. Like, don't be satisfied. I want you to remember that how you do one thing is how you do everything. Give everything your best effort. I don't care if it's brushing your teeth, folding your clothes, lacing your shoelaces. I don't care if it's the next promotion or presentation or podcast that you're recording. Give it everything you've got. Don't just kind of sort of wishy-washy do something. Do everything full throttle. See what changes in your life when you do everything the same way with a high standard. Okay? So I want you to be great. I want you to be unstoppable. I want you to understand that the goals that you have set to get you to where you are today, fine, they're fine. But there's so much more. This world is abundant. There's so much out there for each of us. Just have to design what it is that we want. Got to know what we want. And then bottom line, gotta be comfortable being uncomfortable. Put yourself in those social situations that you're like, oh God, here we go again. But it's putting yourself in and it's doing the reps. I've used this story before, but it's just like I used to shake like a leaf when I would do public speaking. My voice would quiver, my voice would crack, my palms were sweaty. And now getting up in front of a crowd is like so energizing. It actually, the more people, the better, because I get energized by the people looking out at me. And I love being able to deliver something that's just inspiring, motivational, that kind of kicks you in the teeth a little bit. And then it's like, all right, I'm going to go dominate the world now. Okay. So be okay with being uncomfortable. Okay. So make that part of your daily routine. If getting out and walking in the cold is like something you absolutely loathe, cool, do it more often, because pretty soon it's not going to matter. I can tell you that as much as I hate the cold, like anyone who knows me knows I absolutely hate being cold. But the more I get in that plunge, the easier it becomes. Okay. Every time I go for that walk and it's 20 some degrees, it's like, all right, let's go. And it actually feels super refreshing when you're done. So be okay. And where can you find situations that make you uncomfortable? Continue showing up. Okay. This is no different than someone walking into a gym for the very first time. It's so uncomfortable. It can be so intimidating, but the more reps you put in, the easier it becomes. All right, guys, be unstoppable. This is your year. This is your time. Gotta show up and be relentless every single day. Go get 'em.